All right, thank you, Meg. We are following some breaking news tonight out of Midland County.
It seems there's been a change of heart when it comes to the topic of marriage. The news at 6 starts right now.
WNEM-TV5 News starts right now with a breaking news alert.
That breaking news, weddings are set to continue in Midland County's district court. This after ceremonies had been halted indefinitely.
The reversal was handed down just moments ago by the chief judge of the Midland County trial courts. The 75th District Court in Midland had stopped performing wedding ceremonies for all couples just days after the U.S. Supreme Court legalized same-sex marriage nationwide.
But in a release statement from the chief judge, people are assured they can, quote, still go to district court to make their wedding arrangements. Stay with TV5 for continuing coverage on air and online. Millions of dollars are pouring into Michigan to eliminate blight across the state, and a big chunk of that money is coming to mid-Michigan. Mount Pleasant, Harbor Beach, Bay City, as well as Genesee and Clare counties are among 19 areas getting grants through the government's blight elimination program.
That's right, and now local leaders are getting ready to use that money to clean up their neighborhoods. TV5's Emily Nelson joins us live now in Bay City with a look at some of the buildings slated for demolition. Emily.
Well, good evening. Well, this blighted building behind me is wedged between the new YMCA building over here and the up-and-coming Uptown area over here. It's an eyesore, and it's one of many that's coming down.
If I'm living next door to a blighted structure, why would I want to make any improvements to my property?
Crumbling roof, broken windows, peeled off siding. Homes like this are an eyesore in some Bay City neighborhoods.
If you have a blighted house in the neighborhood, it tends to make that neighborhood a bad place to live in.
Residents like Jim Hammond, who would like to see these abandoned homes and commercial buildings come down, are getting their wish granted. The state just gave the city $250,000 to tear them down.
So how do you feel about some of these blighted homes getting knocked down?
Well, I'd like to see them knocked down. You know, it makes it look like a mess around here.
The grant is part of the state's blight elimination program. Bay City was one of 19 Michigan communities receiving the money.
We do have some areas that we do need to clean up.
Deputy City Manager Dana Muscott says the application process was tedious and over 50 other municipalities applied. But getting rid of these unsightly buildings will mean a lot to this community.
Residents are going to be extremely happy to see these houses go down because this is something that they stare at on a daily basis.
The residents we talked to are looking forward to that new view.
They could put the evaluation of your home a lot higher.
The idea of the city getting rid of blighted structures, I think, is a real good idea, and I support it.
Well, I'm told this blighted building is likely to become a parking lot for the YMCA next door, and some of those other buildings that we showed you earlier are likely to become green spaces or spots for other homes. No word yet on exactly when the demolition will take place. Reporting live in Bay City, Emily Nelson, WNEM TV5.
All right, Emily, thank you. And right now, one community is dealing with a new problem that's surfaced after past blight removal projects.
It seems some people are using empty lots as their own personal dumping grounds. TV5's Craig McMorris continues our team coverage from Saginaw.
This crime scene, if you will, took place on the east side of Saginaw. It's where someone illegally dumped yard waste. The resident who did so freely admitted to city officials that he trimmed trees around his neatly kept up home and placed the branches on the boulevard next to the street. The problem is, he can't do that.
It's going to cost us probably $600 of taxpayers' money to have this debris removed. So I'm asking the citizens to please, when you see that we're grading these lots, please don't drop anything, no tires, no debris, anything. Try to keep them clean. Also, please don't drive over them.
That's because workers have planted Dutch white clover, which is designed to keep large weeds from growing in the lot. Dealing with dumping situations like this takes away manpower that could be used elsewhere in the city.
This is using up a police officer's time and also my supervisor and myself. Now, if you do have trees and debris that you need taken away, the city can help you out. We'll have a phone number for you at the end of this story.
We asked the homeowner who placed the tree branches and limbs on the boulevard if he had a comment. He wouldn't go on camera, but pointed out a similar situation down the street in front of another cleared lot. Here's the warning from the city. Homeowners caught dumping yard waste or other items could receive a $50 citation for the first time it happens. Reporting from Saginaw, Craig McMorris, WNEM-TV 5.
And now here's that number if you need the yard waste picked up in Saginaw. It's 989-399-1311. You'll get the brush pickup schedule and details on what you can actually set out. Again, the number is 989-399-1311.
A live look now at downtown Flint, where a cloudy evening marks the end to a rather cloudy day, and that's creating some unseasonably cool temperatures. Here's Chief Meteorologist Brian Bachman with a first look at your forecast. Hi, Brian.
Hi there, David. Good evening, everyone. That's right. You know, the clouds really hung in there today. It's all part of a lingering area of low pressure. Not the same one we saw yesterday, but essentially another little spin up that tailed a little bit farther behind it. So we still have the cold front in place, and you can see all these clouds in addition to the ones that have already been over the region today. More of them streaming in for the time being. But here's what I'm going to offer you as a consolation prize, I guess. Take a look at all this clear, yes, I said clear, real estate over northern Wisconsin, Minnesota, and even into parts of the western UP tonight. That is headed our way, and we will start to see some of the impacts of it really by about midnight or just a little bit after, and then especially as we head into tomorrow. In the time being, though, we're still stuck under the clouds and, of course, under some pretty unseasonably cool temperatures. 64 degrees for you in Saginaw tonight under an overcast sky, and mainly overcast also in Bay City. Dew points really not that much of a factor at this point. They're well back into the 50s, and we have just a relatively light west to northwest at times wind, really ranging from anywhere between about 4 to 8 miles per hour. 66 in Flint as well, and 68 degrees in Midland also on the overcast sky. But take a look at this. We're going to take a quick snapshot here of the weekend forecast. Here's your preview, and of course looking good for the fireworks. 78 Friday, 83 Saturday and Sunday, and not a drop of rain to be found. Full details on exactly how we get here coming up in your full forecast.
New tonight, police are asking for your help tracking down an armed robbery suspect. 26-year-old George Brown has a warrant for his arrest in Saginaw. Police say he's known to live in the Pinconning area. If you know where Brown is, contact the Pinconning Police Department. Right now, federal officials are investigating a series of fires at predominantly black churches in the South.
At least 6 churches have burned since the racially motivated shootings in Charleston last month.
2 of those fires are being investigated as possible arsons, but no evidence linking them has been found.
However, the incidents are causing concern for leaders at churches right here in mid-Michigan. TV5's Ronnie Duncan reports.
And over the time since, or even before the Civil War, our black churches have been attacked.
Pastor Gerald Caldwell is the spiritual leader at Quinn Chapel AME Church in Flint, and he feels the pain of the recent fires that have destroyed several black churches in the South.
It's really heartbreaking that we live in this day and age in 2015 where we see this kind of thing going on.
Quinn Chapel has Genesee County's oldest African-American congregation, dating back to 1875, some 140 years ago. Therefore, Pastor Caldwell takes exception to the attacks on black churches, especially those of the AME faith.
Just so happens to be because of our historical longevity, the AME church seems to be the focus.
You know, it's a whole new beat for the church these days, because no longer do they have to invest in an alarm system just for a drum set or an organ or a piano or the microphones. They have to look at the church as a whole. And as pastor says, that's worth looking into.
I'm torn because I'm ex-military. I'm a retired major in the Army Reserves, but I don't want to resort to violence to protect myself or the congregation.
Dr. Byron C. Moore of Vernon Chapel AME believes the church bombings in the South could happen here.
Oh, absolutely. Spirits have no geographical boundary.
In Flint, Ronnie Duncan, WNEM TV5.
And the most recent fire was at the Mount Zion AME Church in Greeleyville, South Carolina, but investigators believe it was caused by lightning. Well, getting a copy of public information is now easier and cheaper than ever before.
We will tell you about the new rules regarding Freedom of Information Act requests.
Plus, a local woman wants to help out the family of a late football standout. Find out what she's doing to raise money in honor of Derek Nash.
You are watching WNEM-TV 5 News at 6, serving Auburn, Bridgeport, Grand Blanc, and your hometown too.
It's coverage you can count on.